Hello Pythonians. Now in this lecture, let's start with actual list operations. To start with, we will see what is append operation in the list and what is extend operation in the list. So consider L1 and L2 as our demo list over here. If we want to add one element in the L1 list, we use append method. That means if we append L2 to list L1, we will see entire list is appended as element in this list. So let's append L1 dot append L2 and let's print L1 what we will get. So you can see the entire element is one list, which is L2. So list 1 is getting modified over here, and the one element which is added in this list is L1, the entire list. Now here is extend method. If we want to add every element in the list as a part of L1, not the entire list, we want to add every element in the L2 list as a part of L1 list. So how do we do that? So we have extend method over here. Here you can see after 33, which was the last element of list L1, there are 5 more elements, and these elements are from list L2. So one element is not added, 5 elements are added in this list. All these 5 elements are from list L2. So this is a basic difference between append and extend, where append allows you to add only one element at a time, but extend will allow you to add every element in L2 list as a part of, or you can say as an element of L1 list. Now we have insert over here. Here you can see before we have printed L2 and after we have printed L2. In the middle, what we have done, we have inserted something. Now how this insert syntax works? It's very simple. The first parameter we are passing is the index number, on which index we need to insert any element in the list, and then we are passing actual value which we need to insert in the list. So at the second index, I want to insert 3.8. So let's run this. You can see before we have John 9.8 and false and then other elements. But now at the second index, we have 3.8 over here, and then we have other elements which are intact. So that's how we can insert at a particular position in the list. Now we can see how we can remove any element in the list. So for example, I want to remove this 3.8 which I have just inserted. So here you do not need to provide any kind of index. You just need to write what is the element, what is the value of the element, and that element will get removed. So before L2 was looking like this, and now we have removed the same element that we have inserted before. So now we have 3.8 removed in after section. Now here is one thing that we need to remember about this remove operation, that only first occurrence of the given value will be considered to remove. That means let's consider this temporary list over here which have 23, 45, 56, 45, 70 and 23. But in this case, if I want to remove 45 and I perform this operation to remove 45 over here, you can see in the result that I am only having 145 removed, which was at the index 1. So the first occurrence was the index 1. So that's why it is removed only the first occurrence of 45, and the next 45 is still there. So we need to remember this thing while using this remove method. Now we have a pop method over here. Unlike remove method, it do not accept the value of the element, it accepts the index of the element. That means if I want to remove this 9.8 over here, we will just pop the index 1, which is the index of this 9.8, and then after popping up index 1, we will see that 9.8 is no longer here, and now 3.8, which was at the right side of this element, is shifted to position 1. Now we have reverse over here. As the name suggests, it will return us the reversed list. So before it was like John 3.8 false 21, But after reversing it, we have John 3.8, false 21 from right to left. Then we have len. As the name suggests, it will give us the length of the list. That means how many elements are there in this list. So for example, length of L2 is a 4. That means L2 have 4 elements in it. Then we have minimum and maximum functions. Keep in mind that these functions will always work with homogeneous lists. That means if all the elements in the list are of same data type, these functions will work. For example, this L1 is homogeneous list, and if we want to get the maximum value in this list L1, we will see the maximum value of this list in L1 is 99. So yeah, it is working over here. Similarly, we want to see the minimum value of this list. We have min of L1, that is 10. Now in L2 we cannot perform this operation because L2 is not homogeneous list. Let's say what will happen if we perform this operation on L2. Like you see, we have a error over here. Now let's move to count. Count element just counts the occurrence of particular element in this list. So for example, in L1 you can see 50 is occurred twice. So that's why it's saying the occurrence of 50 is 2 times. That's how the count works. If we put 10 over here, that means count is only 1 because 10 occurred only one time in the list. Now let's move to concatenate. Concatenate is similar to extend, but there is a big difference. Extend will change the original list, but concatenate, we need to create a new variable to store this modified list. So for example, if we just say L2 plus temp, it will not perform any operations on L2. L2 will remain intact. But if we want the result to be stored somewhere, we have to consider this new variable name, which in this case I have written new li, new list. So let's see how this concatenate works. As you can see, these two lists are concatenate. Now we will see index. Index of the list will return the value of index of a particular element. That means if we want the index value of 99, we will see we have 7. Now this 70, as we know, 0th and first index. So let's see what it will throw us at the 70, which is first. Now 50 is occurred twice in this. Let's see what it will give us for 50. 0. That means this operation also works only for first occurrence. That means 50 occurred first time and it throw out the result as a 0th index. But the second occurrence of 50 is not getting counted over here. That's why index function always works on first occurrence only. Now we have sort. L1.sort. That's basically sorting operation. It will return as a sorted list. If we perform L1.sort, we will see the list is sorted and we got the ascending order list over here. Note that this also works on only homogeneous list. That means all the elements in the list should have similar data type. Now clear. This one is very simple. If we do L1.clear, it will clear all the list, delete all the elements in the list and return us empty list over here. So that's it for this lecture of list operations. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.